Hi, I'm Paul Millen. I'm at Tanui Forest Park and we're looking at some Cypresses lusitanica or Mexican cypress. These trees were planted in 2010 and they're growing on a pretty fertile site. One of the things that is happening here is we are getting some very strong early diameter growth, which is apparent in the lower base of the tree, even though the tree is only about 5 metres tall at the moment. However, we are looking to do some pruning in here in order to remove the lower branches so as to start the butt log developing heartwood. So when you're pruning cypresses, it can be a challenge. There's a lot of branches and being able to get in and prune them carefully is important. You don't want to leave large scars or having branches rip off. So the best thing to do is to start by removing the branches down one side of the stem so that you've got a clear access to get in round and prune the rest of them off. So when you're pruning, you've got to ensure that you place the straight blade of the pruners on the top side of the branch, and then the cutting action is through bringing the two handles together, and in this case a nice flat straight cut pretty well right up near the branch collar. So this swelling around here, this is called the branch collar, and you don't want to be wounding the tree by cutting in at this point. You've got to be out onto the main stem itself. Before I go completing the pruning of the tree, just a quick consideration as to how many branches should we be pruning on a tree like this. It's important to not over prune the crown, and in this case the tree should be assessed before the pruning starts to work out at what height you'd be pruning up to, so that you're not removing more than 50% of the green crown. And that 50% of the green crown does include from the base of where it is green all the way to the tip. So that's the best guideline, is to have made that decision before you start. So you can see I've pruned this side off. That's made it a lot easier then to come in and finish the pruning of the rest of the stem. As you remove those lower branches and new wood forms over the pruned wounds, then that wood becomes clear. There are no knots, and that's the most valuable part of the log that you'll be able to mill and sell at a later date. Well done. I've cut open a log to have a look at the pruning wounds from the earlier pruning, and if you look at the piece I've cut open here, it shows very clearly here and here. These are where small branches were cut off probably when the tree was about 4 or 5 years old, and that's meant that removing that branch has allowed the wood to grow clear. There's no knots now in the sheath outside of the knotty core. This is what we call the knotty core because the knots are contained within the narrow section of the trunk when the tree was pruned, and after that you grow clear wood without any knots. So this is an excellent example of early pruning having created the product that you want inside the tree. And that's gone on despite, if I turn this over, you'll see these are the old pruning scars here, and you might look at those and think that tree was only pruned a couple of years ago, and those scars can stay on the tree for a lot longer yet. So until you actually cut the tree open and see on the inside that the pruning's been done very much on time. It's an ideal situation to have only a knotty core that's about 100 millimetres wide.